Well, hello everyone. I'm coming at you from Hungary, reporting from a Trabant. Trabant is an East German car. I'm pretty sure you guys know what it is if you're watching my channel or my movies, or you've seen one before, somebody's driving it and stuff. But this is real. This is where it really was used on an everyday basis. So now it's a rarity. So nobody really see a Trabant on the street anymore. So that's why it's kind of weird for everyone to even see this car. But I'm looking up friends who has something to do with Trabants. So now we're heading to a guy who has a spare part business for Trabants, and he has almost everything for this car. So I'm gonna go and look at his shop. So here is that wonderful little Trabant what I came with, and this is like an industrial complex, and here's the place. So if you need any Trabant parts, you can reach them online and order it. I assume they ship to the US too, but let's ask. Szóval, hogyha a trabantozást nézzük, akkor mi a legnehezebb alkatrész, vagy mi a jövőben a legnagyobb gondot okozó alkatrész, ami egy Trabantot életben tart?
A legnagyobb probléma az, hogy az a generáció, aki még régebben gyártotta az alkatrészeket, azok megöregedtek. A második generációban már nagyon kevesen vállalják azt a nyugot ezzel a gyártással, amit a papa vállalt. És ezért áttértek a gyártók olyan rendszerre, hogy bizonyos mennyiség esetén legyártják azt a terméket. X mennyiséget kell rendelni, akkor elmennek, megveszik a vasat, amit kell, ha vasból van, vagy műanyagból, és akkor legyártják. Tehát az, mint régen volt, hogy a gyártónak volt egy készlete, és oda mentek a kereskedők és vásároltak, ez megszűnt. Teljesen. Ebből a szempontból én egy kicsit szerencsésebb vagyok, mert ugye mi nagy keresztünk is régebben, tehát kereskedőket is kiszolgáltunk, akik most már nem nagyon tartanak Trabant készletet, akkor egy kicsit könnyebb volt a helyzetünk. Most már ilyen szempontból nehezebb, a raktárkészletet ez miatt növeli rendesen. Itt az üzletben minden darabból, amit forgalmazunk, van belőle készlet, de a nagy készletünk az a nagy raktárban van, amit majd később meg tudok mutatni, tehát nyugodtan körbe lehet nézni, minden termék, ami itt szerepel, ezek főleg a fogyó-kopó alkatrészek, amik ugye vannak, de a nagy raktár, ez itt ilyen, úgy hívják, ez valami kézi raktár, volt valamikor ilyen neve? Volt ilyen valamikor, ugye, hogy kézi raktár. Bent a lányok éppen csomagolnak, mert ugye postázunk menet közben.
Na jó reggelt!
Igen? Igen. Ez itt a legmelegebb helységünk, ezt fűtjük egyedül, de itt találhatók azok a termékek, amiből hogy ne kelljen kiszaladgálni, meg a fogyósabb termékek. 5-10, 2-3-5 darab kell belőle, ezek vannak itt, és akkor van a nagyobb alkatrészek pedig kint vannak a külsőbe, de az is csak egy olyan raktárrész, amiből mindig csak annyi van, amennyi egy heti fogyás, de tudunk folyamatosan a raktárból, hátsó raktárból föltölteni. Nyomunk egyet. Amit nagyon sok van, az a doboz, mivel hogy postázunk folyamatosan, ezért rengeteg dobozt kell begyűjtenünk, és ezért van ez a nagy doboz mennyiség. Itt vannak ezek a dolgok, ami nem olyan fogyósak, ami egy-egy speciális, ott hátul vannak azok a termékek, amiből rengeteget kell készítenünk. Ugye? Itt nem lehet keveset rendelni ebben. Ugye? Itt hűtők, lökhárító sarkok, meg mondom, nagy dobozok, amiket exportra, lemezáru, fékdobok, tartály is rengeteg. Úgyhogy ez itt úgy hívom, ez a hideg rész, hideg raktárja. És akkor, na az az a termék, ami nem tudom miért nem fogy. Ablakfízből se lehet keveset gyártatni. A lengéscsillapítók is eredeti gyári kínai termék.
Mert ha nem kínai, nem gyári.
Akkor igen, mert
eredeti.
akkor az már, ha mondjuk lehet itt, ez az igen. és ebből van 4 ilyen sor. A végén már egy kis teherautó is van.
Ez egy jó, ez világos. Na hát köszönöm a tárlatvezetést, és aztán sziasztok! So now I brought you guys to another place. One of my friend has a muffler factory where he manufactures exhaust systems for Trabis, Wartburgs and Barkasses. And he worked on my cars too, so this Wartburg is mine. This used to be a parts car, but I'm planning on bringing it back to the US and making it to an East German follow me car. Looks like I'm gonna need a windshield for it because it's slightly broken. Well, that's all right. So let's go inside to this plant and then look at what he has inside. He's got a bunch of interesting cars. Like, look, have you ever seen an S-Cargo? This is from Japan, like a real right-hand drive Japan only car. And the next one is a Czechoslovakian made Skoda. Back then there was still Czechoslovakia. And this is one of the workers. I think the guy is doing the restorations for him. That's his car. It's a very odd-looking Citroën from France, and of course the little Trabi what we came with. So here's where my friend manufactures all the mufflers for the Trabis, Wartburgs, and Barkasses, what most likely you're able to buy in Germany. There's all the raw pipes as they begin their life. And also he likes cars too, so here his car collection, a part of his car collection. He's working on that, it's a late model Trabant with a Volkswagen engine. He's working on it for someone else, but this is for his own collection. This is a very, very special Trabant. It's a Trabant Hycomat. So basically it has a hydraulic clutch in it. It's an electronically actuated hydraulic clutch system. This was a car which you only was able to get if you were a handicapped person. And then it basically was just like a cane or something else what the government gave you so you can get around. But it was made in the 60s at first, and it's a very complicated device. This is where the hydraulic pump is. And then as you can see, there's a hydraulic actuator. And when you touch the button on the transmission handle, then it's actuated the clutch pedal. There is still a clutch pedal in it, but that clutch pedal was only a service pedal which was mounted to the floor. And then when some service person actually had to drive it around, normally you were able to unhook it. You can see the hook there, and you unhook it, and then the service person able to use it as a normal clutch pedal. The other interesting part in this car, when it came, they put the old-fashioned the dash on it. I don't know why, but it has that little flow meter on it, like with LEDs, but it's still the really old-fashioned dashboard in it. Also in the back, on the later model Trabis, there was a little vinyl piece what was covering this top part, and that's also missing from it because they were trying to make it plain Jane as possible, if a Trabi was not already a plain Jane Trabant. But this Trabant has the original color. It was in very nice condition when it got here, but look at this. They cadmium treat every part on it and rework everything what they can possibly do to make it like top notch. Even the original little tag is on the springs, and everything's gonna look exactly the way it looked when it came out from the factory. If you look underneath, it's just incredible. This is how it's supposed to look like. Look at every bolt and everything is cadmium treated, and it looks nice in it. So I have two of these Trabis in the US. One is a race car, which I call it the ultimate oxymoron, a Trabant race car, but it's actually a real race car what I have at home. It's been to Monaco, the historical Monte Carlo rally, and many other vintage rallies. But this car, what's here, is a very rare piece. Like really, they all broke and they all got used up. So to see a very nice condition Hycomat is really an interesting sight. You can see all these parts were prepared and taken apart, and it's gonna look nice on the bottom as it's on the top. So they do a really nice job here in this shop. My friend is also a fan of internal market Japanese cars. So Japanese cars which were not exported to other countries. There was a time when there was a craze in Europe where they bought all these Toyota Supras and other cars which were not available, the versions which were not available in Europe. And then they just throw a couple of these weird looking things next to them. And suddenly there was a following who follows these odd looking, cartoonish looking Japanese cars. This looks one of the, just like out of an anime show or something. So they're gonna go through on this car too. They're gonna make it look nice. This is how it just arrived. And it all looks like it's all dirty. But if you look at it, it has automatic transmission, air conditioning. Well, let's look inside, how it looks inside. So if you look inside, of course, it's right-hand drive. And again, in Hungary and most of Europe drives, just like in the US, they have the left-hand drive system. And look at that speedometer and all these things. And this is actually a passenger version. So they had a really tiny rear seat. That's why they have those windows on the side. And on the top, you can actually open the top just a little bit, like pull it back, just a little open top on the top of it. So that's a real oddity. So please leave me a comment if you've seen one of these in the US. I would be interested to know. You can see the process on this table, how they're taking everything apart and then they organize it, taking it to a surface treatment, and they bring it back and reorganize it, and that's how they can install it. It's really hard to see, but this is another Skoda from the Czech Republic. This is original color, Lamborghini green or chewing gum green, but it looks sympathetically nice inside. It's like a real nice leftover car. Somebody used it for a while and then left it in the garage, and that's how it survived all these years. This one is an East German motorcycle made by MZ, and this is a TS125, 125cc motorcycle. They actually exported these from East Germany to the US. I've seen a US spec model there once in Washington, DC at the Trabant parade. Someone brought one out in a really poor condition. Of course, you can't be without an American car. This one, somebody who was from Hungary originally bought it in the US, brand new, brought it in, and never was able to register it because of some local rules. So he just pushed it into the garage, and that's where it's sat since new. So this car barely have any miles in it, maybe like, I think less than 10,000 miles in it. So the old guy died, and then my friend just bought it. He doesn't care. He said it's so super nice. The condition is so super nice. So he just loved the seats in it. It looked brand new. It's incredible. Even in the US, this car would be very interesting to own because it's just such a nice condition. Although it's not my type of car, what I like, but it's in impeccable condition. So inside the shop where they actually were making all the mufflers, and here's this little beauty. This is a Nissan Pao. As you can see, it's a right-hand drive, and they got it in pieces, so they're trying to Lego it out and figure out which bolt goes where. And the body was already painted when it got here, and then they took off all the bolts and everything. And look at all these cadmium treated bolts. It's not exactly the same color as the Japanese cadmium, but it's very close to it. But it sure as hell is shiny. And again, the same system. They have one of these places where they put all the parts, and now most of the parts are gone. They went into the car. But look at the inside. You open the door. This was one of the first retro vehicles in Japan, and I think around the world too. That's way before the Mini and way before the Fiat 500 and stuff. Look at this nice old steering wheel, old looking steering wheel. This dash, and it does have air conditioning. Look at all those registers, and that's my favorite part, the radio. This is incredible. It's actually got cassette tape in it. And looks like an old 1930s radio. Oh, it's strange. If you remember the 2CV, the Citroën 2CV, this window looks exactly like that, but it's in the back. And it's just one little flip window where you can flip out. And we'll have the 3 bullet lights. That really is a unique piece. I don't think there is another one in Hungary. Have you guys seen any of this in the US? Let me know. This machine probably looks familiar. This is where they bend the pipes. And then all these specialty machines after to make the sections. All those springs are out of some Eastern European cars in those tools. And there is a big press where they press out the muffler houses. These are actually a Trabant front muffler. This one is really good quality because they put a lot of insulation in it. You know, in a Trabant is an air-cooled car. So actually there's 2 drums in one. So the air goes around the exhaust muffler and then enters into the cabin. So it's not exhaust gas, it's just basically the housing is, it's like a double housing. It's got a coat and it has to be insulated. Otherwise the wind what's coming to the front of the car will cool it down and it's not going to be any good. So there are several other manufacturers who are making this, but not as good quality as this one because this one has a lot of insulation in it and it's made out of really good metal. These are for barcasses. If you don't know what a barcass is, look at my videos. I have a couple of them, and I have a blue one which I made a video of, but these are the mufflers for it. And once they pressed it out, now they hitting this part around it and by hammer one by one, and then they weld it up. Okay, this is the rest of the half done shop. So these are the rear exhaust pieces for the Trabant, and there are some more front drums, and that's where they're painting them. They have like a place where they paint them, and then there's a big suction device there. This is a steel sheet, and it's actually covered with aluminum. This is what they're gonna use to chop a piece off of, and then we're gonna press it. It helps with corrosion to cover it with aluminum. Sounds like an airplane taking off. So this is how a 420 volts plug looks like in Europe, and that's what runs that machine here. This is a very different setup than what we have in the US. He has a pressed out piece, and first he's gonna cut it. He cut the side. This is like a scissors, a rolling scissors, where he can use to cut it off. And then now he cuts off the last piece over here. And it's partially done. So you can look at the piece on the right side, and then on the left side there are the holes already made, and then there are some insulation inside. It's like a double layer. This is why this drum, what they make here, it's a really high quality. Now we are at my friend's garage and look what he has in there. A Trabant Champ. Looks very cool. So they only made 497 of these cars, and all of these Trabis said made in the German Democratic Republic, or DDR. This one was actually says it's made in Germany, so that was after the unification of Germany, and they were still making these, so it's one of the last ones. So as you can see, this has a floor shifter. It doesn't have the two-stroke engine, it actually has a four-stroke Volkswagen Polo engine. So this is really, really a late model, and they call it the Trabant Trump. So this is the mighty Trabant what they picked me up last night at the airport. So there are a million of videos about what the Trabant's history is and what it was and all these things. But we're gonna just talk about this particular vehicle. So here's my friend's son, Marci, and he's gonna talk to us about what this car is.
Marci vagyok, és ez itt egy mezőre járkálós az én Trabant, amivel szoktunk gyakorolni a mezőn, erdőmezőn keresztül. Szoktunk vele ugratni is, és a Trabantnak egy olyan egyedi története van, hogy ez gyárilag nem egy kétütemű váltós, hanem ez egy Hycomat volt, amit látható itt a hátsó ablaknál, a matricánál. Hycomat, hogy kuplung nélküli robotizált váltós. Mi meg visszaraktuk bele a polcokat, meg egy eredeti hőmérsékletmérőt, meg hát minden szemetet. Mivel ez egy Hycomat, ezért még ilyen pumpálós a ablakspricni. És még plusz ott lóerő az, hogy az elején és a hátulján nem ugyanaz a felni található. De hogy a néni vezette, itt azért látszódnak hibák. Ezek egyedileg lettek visszaragazdatva. Ugye kicseréltük az eredeti Hycomat váltót és a motort, ez egy 30 000 km futott motor, ez egy nagyon szép motor volt, semmi rozsda nem volt rajta. Ez egy nagyon szép motor volt, ez a motor ez egy fiók alól...
Amit kivettetek belőle és elraktátok. Igen.
Ez a motor egy fiók alól kiszedett ilyen szétrugott motor, alapotát nem tudjuk kilométer hány van benne, ez semmit nem tudni erről. Ezzel arra jó, hogy a mezőn lehet vele menni, azt megyünk vele 5 évig, azt újra kicseréljük. Még jogosítványom nincsen, de apukám segít, hogy jól meg tudjam tanulni az autó kezelését, és a kereszt meg tudjam tanulni, és majd ő segít letenni a keresztvizsgát.
Thank you for watching this, and see you guys next Friday. Bye.